Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to Weekend Wind Down. I'm Nancy Ganzikoffer, business coach to creative entrepreneurs, interior designers, coaches, and other online entrepreneurs who are trying to grow their business. This is, I say this every week, but it really is one of my favorite times of the week. Hi, Heather. Hi, Kaden. Got to give you guys a couple of minutes to come on before I show you what I'm drinking. Hi, Meg. I'll bring you on in a couple of minutes. I'm really excited about my guest today. Meg Casebolt is an SEO specialist, and she just sent me an incredible amount of information on my own site and on my own, hi, Isabel, and on my own SEO ranking. And I can't wait to go through all of it. So Meg, while I was waiting the 5 minutes, I watched 5 minutes worth. So that was awesome. Hi, Concetta. So I think this is going to be hugely valuable today. So before I get started, let me show her. I hope everyone's having a little wine with me, or tea, or water, or whatever you like to drink. Hey, Richie. So I am drinking Roanoke Vineyard The Wild Chardonnay, one of my favorites. It's one that we almost always have in stock, Richie and I, because Richie is a member. Hi, Carrie. So cheers to everyone. Happy Friday. It was a great week for me and for so many of my clients. I started just to give a little update, I got featured for this Weekend Wind Down weekly Facebook Live. Hi, Mama. Which was so nice in Designer Life magazine, which is both online and it's going to be in print. Hi, Bane. I think you spelled that wrong. Happy Friday. So that was fun. So I think that will, draw more people to my Weekend Wind Down, which right now I do on my personal page, but eventually I want to move it to my business page. So will you guys watch if I move it to my business page, which I'm going to do over time. But anyway, great week. Hi, Rachel. I have a second group for the Sales and Leadership Academy filling up. So there's 3 slots filled, a 4th person pending, and only 6 slots in that group. So I'm excited about that. And what else happened this week? The Designer Life feature. And you know what I worked on this week, which I been avoiding, which I'm sure all you guys have been avoiding, also is my content calendar. I actually sat with my, one of my staff members, or virtually, of course, and we did our content calendar up through September, which is really, really exciting. So let me know what you guys got done this week, because I'm all about action in my group, Actionable Entrepreneurs. And I redid my business plan like I want you guys to be doing. I thought you were going to say taxes. You know what? No, my accountant emailed me too that he applied for an extension and I have to get him all my paperwork, but it's all done. I did that already. So let me bring Meg on to start talking. Oh, avoiding taxes. You guys are funny. No, my content calendar. Sometimes I like to just wing it, and sometimes it's really important to plan. I try to get all my clients to plan, and then I'm like the shoemaker without shoes. So let me see if I can bring on Meg. Oh, yep, perfect, Meg. Let's see. She asked to come in. Okay, let's see if this works. Yay!
Yay!
Is this your first time doing a joint Facebook Live?
No, this is my first time doing it from my phone, the way that you have it set up. And I kind of like it this way because, like you said, it goes out to your people and my people and not just our business pages. So
exactly, right. And I have my son, who's one of my virtual assistants. I don't even have to worry about sharing at my computer because he does it for me. So he shares it into my group, Actionable Entrepreneurs, and he shares it on my business page. So that's always fun. So Meg, introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do, because I just got the most rocking amount of information from you that I can't wait to dive in all weekend into this.
I know, except that you just said that you did your content calendar. And I'm like, no, don't you do your content calendar until you have your idea bank of things that people are searching for.
That's okay. You know what? Because all we did was doing the planning stage, but we didn't start writing our blogs yet.
All right,
And
so you have some wiggle room in there.
And I did the smart thing. I said, you know what? We're not starting this latest content calendar till April 30th to give ourselves 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks when we started it to really plan it right. So this is perfect timing.
Yay! All right, so my name is Meg. I'm trying to get like in the middle of the screen.
I know it's hard.
I'm used to doing this with my computer, and so doing it on my phone's a little funky. So thank you guys for bearing with me as I'm like shifting around in my chair all awkwardly.
That's all right. I'll have a sip of wine while you do that.
There you go. I am not drinking today. I'm a little disappointed. I have to go pick up my kids after this, so I don't want to drink. But I would be having a red Zinfandel.
Oh, would you?
Yes, I love a good full-bodied red, and I feel like the Zin grapes are right for me.
Okay, I have trouble drinking the reds. They give me a headache. So I can sometimes have like a little bit, which some weekend wind downs you'll see me because it's all I have in the house. But most of the time I resort to the Chardonnay.
That's fair. If I'm going to go white, I grew up and I currently live in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes. And so I love a good Riesling.
Oh, yeah.
A nice, crisp, semi-dry Riesling is, yes, Darcy's feeling me on the full body red. So I actually just did. Have you heard of tastingroom.com?
No.
They send you like 6 little teeny bottles of wine, and then you compare like
I'm writing that
drink.
down.
Yeah, you drink like 4 little, like maybe 4 ounces of reds, and you say, this is the one I like best. I like this one better than this one. And 2 little whites, and they say, you like, oaky Chardonnays, or you like crisp Rieslings and Sauvignon Blancs. And I'm like, now I know how to talk about this stuff.
That is good. Yeah. See, Richie's saying she likes Roanoke Reds. Richie's my boyfriend, and we go out to Roanoke Vineyard here on Long Island. He's a member there, and we'll do the tastings. But I find when I leave, suddenly I can't remember what I liked anyway. So I like the tastingsroom.com because wouldn't they probably send it to you and I could save it.
They send it to you like as a document, and then and it even says like I like wines that have a plum taste, but not like it really goes into the specific flavors and things you need to look for on a menu. Because like you look at a menu and you're like, I know, I don't know, Kendall Jackson, because it's everywhere.
I know. I just say oaky. I like oaky, not steel barrel. But that's really okay. Good. Yes, Darcy's right. Tastingroom.com, and I'm going there. Hi, John. I'm going there. I think I saw Debbie come on too. Hi, Debbie. So introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do.
I am Meg. I am the founder and CEO of Meg Casebolt Digital, which is a digital marketing strategy group. So if I like to work a lot with female entrepreneurs, especially people who are either solopreneurs or people working with a very small team, often, a VA, a designer, maybe an online business manager, but people who are running businesses that are maybe 5 people at the most.
Yes.
Because I think that there's this new economy happening of women who are working from home. They may have kids that are out of the home. They may have kids in the home. They may just want to be able to have some flexibility in their schedules. And I want to be part of amplifying their voices.
Love that. Love that. So I make it really simple. To me, you're an SEO specialist.
Yes, I'm that too. So that's the way
I know you do more than that, but that's what I started out, and I'm going, okay, this I need, because I fall into the exact categories that you said. Female entrepreneur, I do have probably about 4 VAs team now, but it's small. They don't all work full time, and I all have them doing different things, and sometimes the focus gets blurred without really knowing what's effective.
And I think that there are so many things that are probably on your to-do list where it's like, I should also, you just came up with your content calendar, which you said like, I've been putting it off because it's so hard to sit down and write it, because you're also, doing Facebook Lives, and you're doing client work, and you're creating new content, and you're developing relationships, and you're doing your accounting and talking to your bookkeeper. And there are so many things on our to-do list. And
so many.
Search engine optimization and data performance metrics are often the thing that gets pushed till tomorrow, till next week, till next month. But the great thing about those is that if you can put in a little bit of work on the front end, they have long-term dividends that get paid off.
Yeah, and in this day of social media, when we don't own our own Facebook or our own Instagram, it's really important now to focus more on your website, because these platforms are getting, shakier and shakier. We never know what's going to happen. And I always tell my clients, let's use these platforms for free as much as we can take, as far as we can take it. But tomorrow something could happen that changes that, and then what are you left with?
Exactly. I was talking to a client this morning, actually, and she was saying that she had a business about 6 years ago that was entirely built on Facebook. She had, I think, something like 15,000 people in her Facebook group. And when they needed to get in touch with her, they would just message her. And then that first Facebook algorithm went through and her
Killed
leads, it just dried up.
Yeah, that's really scary.
And now she's an email funnels specialist because she learned that, you can't build a house on borrowed land. Right.
Absolutely.
Oh no, Caden.
Yeah, oh no. Caden is my son and one of my assistants, and he's a marketing funnel. He doesn't like when I don't know. Do you want to be called a specialist now? I don't know, but he is a rock star when it comes to building the funnels. And it has made the biggest difference in my business as a coach, especially.
Yeah.
But, even the blogs I write, the emails I write, sales funnel consultant. Okay, got it. Sales funnel consultant. He's made the biggest difference in my sales. Hi, PJ. So all this combined, but the first step is understanding your keywords, what your clients' pain points are, what they would be Googling. I always say it's so simple in a way, but yet so difficult. Put your shoes as if you're your client that you just left. If they were, someone you really enjoyed working with and they worked out. Hi, Julia. And then sit there at your computer and what would you Google? That's the first step. But even doing that. And what's
the way that you would say it? Not even, it's not just, Nancy, I'm going to use an example from you because I just did your report.
Okay, go ahead.
Great blog post that is specifically, it is about finding hashtags for interior designers to use on Instagram. And that is such a specific topic that I'll answer that in just 1 second, Caden. That it's such a specific topic that that somebody who's going to type in interior designer Instagram hashtag is going to click through when they see that you've written that exact topic.
Right.
But you need to make sure that they're really thinking, are they going to type interior designer Instagram hashtag, or are they going to type hashtags for my business, or what's the exact
hashtag
phrase?
For interior designers, or the best hashtags to use. How did I do on that one?
That's your biggest traffic generator for this month.
That's my biggest traffic generator. Yeah, I haven't gotten to you gave me so much information. I can't wait. I'm going to absorb it all weekend and be like,
yeah, I sent it over like 5 minutes before we hopped on.
I know, and I watched 5 minutes worth. Yeah, the one I was watching was about the exercise I call Your Business in Words, but I know that people search more for elevator speech, elevator pitch, and they search it in so many different ways. I wasn't quite sure what to do with that one. So I know I saw your part of your report where you said I'm coming up on the second page in Google, which is not really doing me any good because no one's then clicking through because they're not going that far to the second page.
Exactly. They're sticking on the first page. And just to give you, a little more details on that, because it's fresh on top of my head, you wrote this great post about elevator pitches. And then when people are searching for the topic of elevator pitches, of elevator speeches, of business pitches, of, all of these various topics, there's like 17,000 searches for that idea.
Okay.
But I had to go through and say, okay, but do we want to call it a pitch? Do we want to call it a speech? Do we want to call it an elevator? Do we want to call it there's so many pieces to it. So now I'm getting into nitty gritty because I love this stuff.
I know, but this is really helpful, I think, for people to hear. There's so many ways people can search. And I guess the first question that comes to mind is, then do I rewrite that blog or that topic 6 months from now using different keywords? And then do I write that blog a couple of times, or do I try to fit in all those keywords into one blog post?
So there are a couple different schools of thought here. The first one is that Google really loves long form content. So it's really great to have one, 1,500 word document that goes through everything and touches on a bunch of different topics.
That long?
That long.
Oh my.
Blog post should be minimum 300 words, just so that way Google doesn't want to see what's called thin content, which is just like breezing over it to be able to say that you talked about it. It wants really in-depth content to dig into.
Okay,
not all blog posts need to be that deep. You
Yeah.
answer the question that people are asking. Can you write 3,000 words about Instagram hashtags? I can't.
I would have trouble. I'm like so direct that it's hard for me to write these very long, but my focus is 500 words for my next content calendar starting April 30th. I was shooting for 500 words, and now I'm hearing that maybe they should be even longer.
That's the school of thought that I ascribe to, which is have some cornerstone content that is like really great, meaty, juicy stuff that you can dig your teeth into, and it shows that you're an expert. But then you can also have these kind of one-off posts that just say, like, here's a question that I get asked a lot, and here's the answer to it. And it doesn't have to be this long, epic blog post.
Hi, Joy. Okay. So now you're making me think, okay, like I said, I didn't implement my content calendar yet. Like maybe if I'm doing 4 blog posts a month, one can be long form, 1,500. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm writing a book, and I was so excited when I got to 4,000 words.
That's when you hire a ghostwriter.
That's right. It's time. Trust me.
So let's say that you have your content scheduled out. I think you said until September. Mm-hmm. Let's say that every month you have a theme.
Yes, that's what I did.
And you want to write one kind of longer blog post that links to the other 3 blog posts in that theme.
So at the end of the month, the final blog post, so to speak. So if you're doing, like, I'm going to try to do every Monday, and then let's say the final Monday of the month could tie it all together and link to.
Yeah. So, and I mean, you can go back to the first one when you write the second one and say, I was talking about this here. And the benefit of doing that is that there's 2 benefits. The first is that you're telling Google, hey, these 2 things are related to each other. I was already talking about this. I was already talking about elevator pitches, and now I'm talking about speech writing.
Right.
And then the next time that you write about it, you say, and I was talking about elevator pitches and speech writing, and those are also connected to public speaking on a stage. And you're making sure that Google knows those connections, but you're also keeping your audience on your page longer and showing them that you know what you're talking about.
And we did recently start, and I know you're doing a much more detailed training for just my clients on Monday. So if you guys aren't in any of my programs, private message me, because I do
get in there.
I have 3 openings left for my Sales and Leadership Academy for Interior Designers Group 2. So if you're interested in attending Meg's just for my clients, a very deep dive into some of this stuff, that's happening Monday. So if you get in this weekend, I'll include you in there. So I'm excited about that. But what you're talking about with the linking to your own content, that is something one of my assistants is working on, going backwards to all the blog posts, emails I've written, which I turned into blog posts, and starting to reference them, which is turning that little light green. So, right. So for those of you who don't know, if you have a WordPress site, there's a plugin called Yoast, and Yoast will tell you if it's optimized for SEO.
So one of the things that Yoast recently added on is that they'll actually suggest which of the other posts that you've recently written may be related. So that way you don't have to go all the way back into your archives. It'll say like, hey, you're already talking about this. And then on the sidebar, it'll say, are these relevant? Do you want to link to these? How do they do that? Keywords. They've crawled your site and they know what's on your site. And so when you start using some of those similar terms, it recognizes that. Okay. The other thing that I actually be talking about this a lot on Monday is the thing that I love that Yoast does is it kind of walks you through everything that you want to include on your blog post and the places that you want to be using your specific keywords. So it'll say, okay, we're choosing the keyword elevator pitch. It's not actually a keyword, it's a key phrase, but semantics.
Right.
So we're going to choose that phrase elevator pitch, and we want to make sure that phrase is in your title so that when people look at it on Google, it shows up in that blue part at the top. We want to make sure that it's in your URL. So that's the green part right underneath it that says like nancy.com/elevator pitch. You notice how I didn't try to pronounce your last name?
It's very
Nancy Gantzkoffer.
Yes, you got it.
And then underneath that, you have those like about 2-3 lines of text underneath that are black. That's called your meta description, and that's where you can write what's included in that. And we want your keyword of elevator pitch to be in there, and then we want to make sure that it's, and Yoast will walk you through that and give you a green light for each one of those things. Is your post more than 300 words? Check. Does it have links? Check. And so it kind of makes you feel really accomplished.
Yeah, that's what my assistant's going through right now. She's like, I'm so accomplished. I got green lights on 3 of the posts, on 3 of the blogs. I'm like, yay. I don't know what that means. Yay. I'm glad she's handling it. So, okay. So how do we, you did a tremendous amount of work, and I know you have special programs you probably use to do this, and I don't want you to give away all your secrets, but one of the things that you do is, one of the things you did for me is look at some of my blog posts, if not all of them. I don't know. There's so much in there. I haven't looked at it yet. And tell me where it was good, where it wasn't so good, and how it can be improved. Mm-hmm. So do you recommend that people should actually go, once they learn more about SEO, they can either hire someone to do it, which you do that as well, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or they can go back and you can readjust your blogs in order to optimize them better.
Google actually loves when you update your content.
Really? Even if it's been out there?
Even if it's been out there for 2 years, if you go back and you update it and then you date it so that way it's coming out now, it knows that it's a post that you've updated, and that makes it think that it's fresh content and that it's an update and it's more relevant to your audience than it was 2 years ago. So they're like, yes, this is important stuff. There's a reason that Nancy went back and talked about this as a new update. Maybe especially because you're talking about social media, there are so many changes that come down the pike. So if you can go, if you wrote something about Facebook Lives a year ago, now you have a different way that you're approaching Facebook Live. Maybe you want to go back and update your wind down post and say, now I'm doing it this way, and I got featured in this thing. And Google recognizes like, hey, this is still relevant to what she's talking about. This isn't a 2017 blog post. This is a 2018 blog post. That
is very interesting. And then do I re-release it too? Do I say I've updated my post?
That's up to you.
Okay.
If it feels like it's something that your audience would appreciate, that you're updating it and giving them more information, great. Send it out to your email list, send it out to your Facebook page, send it out to the people that are already following you. If you feel like it's something that just you want Google to know that you know more about it, but it's not an update that's big enough for it to warrant being sent out to your list, right, then you don't need to. It doesn't need to all go out. Darcy, I would say change the date on it to be fresh.
What did she say?
Is that the question?
Are you
updating it and making it a new post? So there's 2 ways, like you said, there's 2 ways to do it. Are you doing it this way or this way? Pros and cons to both. And I'm going to say that a lot here, pros and cons to both. One is if you want to go in and write at the top of the post, I updated this as of this date, if it's something where most of the information is still relevant, and you want to make that a 2018 update, then you can do that and then pull the date of the old post forward to today. Another alternative, and this is all stylistic, there's no one right way or wrong way, is you can link to the old post and say, I wrote this a year ago, click link, internal linking within your site. I wrote this a year ago, but I've changed my approach to it, and now I want to share that with you. The benefit there is you can, you have your keyword, maybe you're already ranking for that, and you want to maybe choose a new keyword that's also in a similar vein. You can then choose a different keyword that maybe more closer to what you're doing now, but then keep that traffic going to the old one. So it's kind of on a case-by-case basis. I wish I had hard and fast rules, but
I know. Well, they keep changing the rules on us anyway. So let's go back to Caden's question. Oh, wait, I passed it.
I think Caden's question was about the keyword tools that I use. Money Robot, I've never used that one for keywords. I'll definitely check it out.
That was cool. He came up with that. And when I put in some keywords, but again, if you don't really know what keywords you should be using, it's kind of like useless, right?
Yeah, I think I'm assuming that the Money Robot that you have checked out, Caden, is similar to like Uber Suggests or Keywords.io. I've used those before, where you can type in, you know, a kind of generic search term and it'll say, here are some other terms that are related but not the same. So that way you can rank for similar terms within the same subtopic.
Okay.
I'll check that out later.
Okay.
Joy S, is this true for updating your website as well? Yes.
That's the global answer. Yes.
You want your website to be updated. Google will recognize when it is updated. You can actually, this is a little technical, you can go into Google Search Console and tell it to double check your website and look at the new updates that you've made, but generally it'll check it out on its own and make those updates pretty quickly after.
Are you teaching us that on Monday? Because Joy's one of my clients.
I can.
I know we already have the outline, but I'm like, ooh.
How long is this training, Nancy?
I know. We're going really fast.
Wow. You don't want me to talk that fast. I can't.
That's incredible. Okay, so if someone's just upping their website now or switching website platforms, I know there's this big debate between WordPress and Squarespace. At least that's the question I'm always getting. Poor Wix is always getting the thumbs down everywhere that I listen to, all the trainings I do. But it's like Squarespace is great and WordPress is great. Is there any type, Darcy's one of my clients too. Hi, Heather. Is there either one you think, in your experience, what you've seen when it comes to SEO optimizing, is either one better or easier?
No.
Oh.
Now I'm trying to put a comment in here. If you guys, I wrote a blog post specifically on the benefits, the pros and cons of WordPress versus Squarespace. Got it. So I just linked that in here. That's why I was looking
see
at
that it says WordPress or Squarespace. So I'm
because
assuming,
that's what people are searching for, right?
See, we're learning something just looking at your blog post. I love this. Okay.
So the analogy that I have two analogies that I like to use with WordPress and Squarespace. The first is that clearly I have toddler. You're going to learn that quickly from my analogy. WordPress is like having a set of Legos, which is that you have building blocks and you can build whatever the heck you want with it. But if you want to build something, you may need to have that little booklet with a million different steps. You know, like the Millennium Falcon is like an 800-page long booklet. And if you want to create like an insanely complex website, you can absolutely do it on WordPress. You can also build like a wall. So the level of complexity is up to you on WordPress, but it can get very cumbersome, but also very customizable. So the opportunities are endless with WordPress, but there is a learning curve to it.
So, okay, keep going.
Squarespace, I call a coloring book. It gives you the outline of what you can make it look like, but then you can go off the page. You know, you can choose whichever colors you want. You can put your own pictures in, but it has a much tighter framework. You know it's going to look beautiful because they won't let you not make it look beautiful.
Okay.
But you're also somewhat limited in what you can do. I was working with clients earlier this week who said, oh, we just put a new cover page up. We really wish that we could put 3 buttons here, but the thing only lets you do 2 buttons or 5 buttons.
Oh.
So Squarespace has beautiful designs, but if it's something where, and if you want to put it up quickly, you can have a Squarespace site up in 3 days. I mean, I can put a Squarespace up in a couple hours, but it has a much easier learning curve to it.
So for do-it-yourselfers,
I would go to Squarespace.
Okay, and if you hire, you
talk to the person about what your goals are with your website and what you need.
But when it comes to SEO optimization, either one can do the trick.
The SEO rules do not change based on your platform.
Okay.
If you are writing great content and you are making sure that you have good keywords that people are searching for and you put them into the right places, which are different places on WordPress or Squarespace, as long as you check those 3 things off, it doesn't matter what platform you're on.
Okay, that's good to know, because I've heard people say Squarespace isn't as good for SEO optimization, but it's really
That
not.
used to be the case.
Oh, okay. So it did come from somewhere.
It has absolutely come from somewhere historically. The great thing about Squarespace in terms of SEO, it's a little bit, it doesn't have a Yoast plugin that will give you those little green lights, but your performance on your page is going to be universally good. You don't have to worry about whether your hosting's running fast. You don't have to worry about whether your site is secure. You don't have to worry about some of those, whether it's mobile responsive. WordPress, you have to worry about those things because you're more in control of the way that it's designed and set up. You have to have your own hosting. You have to get your own SSL. With Squarespace, those are just included. So you don't have to worry about them. It takes some of that performance stuff that matters for SEO out of it, because Google looks at how fast your website loads. It doesn't want to send people to a site that takes 10 seconds to load if it can send them to a site that takes 2 seconds to load.
Okay.
It doesn't want to send them to a site that may be hacked if it can send them to a site that is secure and has an SSL certificate. So,
okay. Yeah. So WordPress is more customizable.
Yes.
But either way, when it comes to SEO, it's all about your content.
Yes.
What about the words you use on each of your pages?
Like the about page?
Yes.
Or what do you mean by a...
Yeah, any of your pages. Like, let's go away from the blog page for now and say on your about page or your services page. Heather's saying that's why you pay more for Squarespace hosting.
Yes, that's why you pay more for Squarespace hosting. They also, for your first year, they include your domain, they include your email. Like, it's more of like a full service package with Squarespace. Okay. Whereas with WordPress, you have more options, even when it comes to who's going to host your email, who's going to buy your domain.
Okay.
So in terms of the content on your, we'll call them top level pages or your pages instead of your posts. My rule of thumb for like finding the keywords there is, what are people going to look for in your navigation?
Okay.
So when they go to your page, Nancy, and they want to look for the about section to find out more about you and how you serve your clients, the best practice is to call it the about page.
I know people try to get so fancy.
They do, and then you have no idea where the heck you're supposed to go.
I know. It's true. It's true. I've noticed that people, even with their programs, they come up with really fancy program names.
A confused mind says no.
I know. And I told this story before, but when I went through the branding process, I was like, well, you know what? I'm a sales strategist. I'm a business strategist, or maybe I'm this and a that. I had all kinds of fancy names. And at the end of the branding process, I used Braid Creative.
I love them.
Oh my God, they're really fabulous. And I always my claim to fame, which is not my claim to fame, is that they branded Brené Brown. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I use the same branding company. Use brand, like, it means nothing actually, but it always makes me feel good. But one of the things they said to me after hearing all my gyrations of like all the things I can help people with, I'm kind of like a life coach, but it's a life and work balance. But I'm also basically straight business and sales and grow your business and make more money, right?
That's social media strategy, social media, different marketing aspects, and
it all gets rolled into one. They're like, so you're a business coach. And I'm like, but that's so boring. And they're like, yeah, but everyone understands that.
Right.
And I was trying to get very fancy. And I find that a lot when I'm talking to my clients. Like, they want to get fancier in the names of their programs or in the names of their design. I coach interior designers. I also coach online coaches and online entrepreneurs. But they always try to get very fancy. And that taught me a lot, myself, going through the branding process. Like, just keep it simple.
Clear beats clever every time.
I like that. Clear beats clever. So it goes back to, what are people going to Google in order to need you?
You know, I have this brand I just put together about maybe 6-8 months ago that's fully superhero themed.
Really?
You know, and that's what Megabolt,
That's
my superhero name, right? So Megabolt Digital, you go to the site and you see my little superhero. I've got a little illustrated superhero on there, and she greets you, and yeah, and I love it. But the names of my packages are still SEO. You know, my pages are about, blog, because even though I have this kind of fun theme and this brand of I'm going to come in, I want to be able to save people from technical issues and be able to amplify their messages. And I worked with this amazing copywriter who made it sound much better than I'm doing right now.
That's okay. This is the casual weekend wind down. We're not our true business in words right now.
Right. But so even though, you know, I have this, you know, this brand that I have built up, it's like I still want people to know that I'm an SEO specialist at the heart of it.
How did you get into this?
I about 5 years ago, I started doing web design. I was working for, I was a marketing director for an architecture firm, and I was working the 9 to 5, and then I got pregnant with our first son and crunched the numbers and realized that more than 50% of my take-home pay would go to daycare. Yep. And so I started freelancing with a friend of mine who owned a web design company. I'd already had some design skills from working in communications and marketing, mostly in nonprofits. I'd worked for a bunch of different nonprofits throughout New England. And yeah, I kind of learned the ropes. I'm all self-taught. And I was working with her and then started doing some web design of my own. And I was helping my amazing clients build these brands and these websites that told their stories. And then we'd launch them, and like nobody saw it.
Yeah, you built it and they didn't come.
Yeah, womp womp. I can see my cousin in Iowa right now is watching. Like, hi Taylor, it's nice to
look what I built. It's gorgeous, but nobody's finding them still.
Exactly. Okay. So it's like when nobody's finding it, what's the benefit? You spent a lot of time and a lot of money trying to get this live online, and I started to really dig down into like, what can we do to make sure that these stories are being heard and that these amazing people are having their, Taylor's like smiling about my Iowa call out there. But I wanted to make sure that their stories were being told. And so I started bundling this into my web design for the past couple of years and saying, okay, let me start doing some research for you. And then I realized that I liked doing that more.
Oh, see, I always say niche is rich and broad is broke. You niche down to SEO.
Especially because people are very intimidated by it. And it's something that, like, you know, I'm married to an engineer. I'm the daughter of an engineer. I'm the sister of an engineer. Like, I get science. I get data.
That's incredible.
And I love digging into that, like, that juicy spreadsheet.
Yeah, that makes my head spin.
Yeah, that's my nerd credentials are coming out right now.
That's good. Everybody needs nerds in their life. I'm convinced.
It's true.
It's true. You guys think in a different way. You look at analytics and you take the emotion out of that part of it, which we need.
The overwhelm out of it, because you look at, like, log into your Google Analytics and it's just like, oh my God, there's so much there.
I've logged in there before and I've logged right out. I just can't. I'm just like, I don't understand any of that. That's why I was so glad that I found you too, because I'll give you guys an update after I review all the reports, but it's gonna make my head spin, right?
A little bit.
Okay.
That's why I did the walkthrough videos, because I like to be able to say to people, like, here's the data that I see and here are the patterns that I'm looking at and here's the recommendations that I make. Because just giving you, like, change the name of this title, like, no, I want to give you the context of why I'm making that recommendation and some education around, like, here's my thought process in this, so that way when you're writing your next editorial calendar, you're thinking through some of the things that I've shown you.
Yeah, I mean, that's so important, because if you just gave me the answers to what was out there already, I would change them. And then a year from now, I'd be like, what did I do wrong? It's not carrying me. So you're giving me the logic and the data. I can't wait. So I know you have to pick up your child, so I want to make sure we don't go over. Does anyone have any questions for Meg about their own SEO or about what she does? But while they're typing, if they have any questions, Tell everyone the full extent of your services. Because
Okay,
I
so
just went in the tip of the front door.
yes, well, it's hard to even summarize because SEO, let's put it this way. Google's algorithm, the way that they choose which pages to show you is based on over 200 factors. And they don't really tell you they'll tell you what those factors are, but not what matters the most. So it's kind of like a guessing game because they want to be in charge.
It's like Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole point of algorithms, so that way they can change it whenever the heck they want to.
All right, we'll take deep breaths.
Okay. So the way that I break up SEO, and this isn't written down anywhere else, it's just the way that makes sense in my head, is that there are 4 major parts to getting your message out there through search traffic, and they are visibility. That is where people are finding you online. So that is social media. That's, a lot of different ways that you can push yourself out there. Those social factors are a part of SEO. So if you have a big following on social media or you have a post that goes viral, Google notices that. Relevance. If your keyword that you're choosing is incredibly relevant to the search query that someone puts in, then that's going to come up in the search term. So the more specific you can get, the more relevant your search term can get, the more likely you are to rank for that term. Let me see. Authority, which is people linking to your site and you linking within your site. So every time somebody links to your site, it's like giving you a vote in a popularity contest.
How do they link to your site?
If I say, hey, I'm going to be on Nancy, if I put up something on my website and say, I'm going to be on Nancy's Wind Down on Friday, come check it out, and I link to your website, that counts.
Oh, so you're going to write a blog about my weekend wind down? Just kidding.
It's already live. No.
Everybody share my weekend wind down and write about it and link to my website where I upload all my weekend wind downs.
But let's take the article that was just written about you. If they link, if Design Magazine, it was Design Magazine,
links,
Life, yeah. Designer Life.
Sorry, I know I messed that up.
If they on their page link to your website, that's more valuable than getting a link from me. Because they're writing about things that your audience is writing about, that your audience is looking for, that you're writing about. So yeah, I can link to your website, but
I got to check with Jane.
See if she can get a link to your website. And then if you get a link from Ivy or a link from House or a link from the, Association of Interior Designers or, like any of those kind of industry names, then that's going to carry more weight and help your domain authority more than like a random blog off the street. And if you can get a listing in the New York Times or even Wikipedia, if you can get listed on Wikipedia, wish we could do that.
Can I get on Wikipedia for Weekend Wind Down?
Maybe. So yeah, like the more links you get, the more authority you have and the higher quality. So we want both quantity and quality of links, but quality is more important than quantity. And then the fourth thing is that performance piece. So Google does not want to send you to a site that isn't mobile friendly, that takes forever to load, that's hard to read because the background and the font color are the same. It wants it to be a site that's user friendly.
Okay. So the extent of your services. Hey, Elizabeth, you got to go back and listen from the beginning, Elizabeth. This is such good information. Okay, so tell everyone the extent of your services, starting point and everything that you do.
Okay, so at this point, I will do kind of just a one-off conversation with people as consultation. I start that at $150. We hop on the phone and I just walk you through what I see on your website. Okay. And I record that because I know that I can be a fire hose. Like, I'm fully aware that I am a fire hose in beta. I try so hard to rein it in, but I know that you guys are already like scribbling confused right now. I know that. I try.
Well, there's so much information, and that's the problem. Yeah. You know what? I'm not a do-it-yourselfer. I like to know the global. I like to have a global understanding of anything I'm asking somebody to do before I pay them. And that's what I try to teach my clients. You don't have to do this yourself, but I want you to understand what that person is actually supposed to be doing for you.
Right.
This
because then you're not going to get... Sorry, Elizabeth. It's 4:30 in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
It's a Friday, but Elizabeth's on a different time zone, so it's earlier for her.
Yeah, because you don't want to get I shouldn't say. You don't want to get screwed by someone saying that it's going to cost you $10,000 to do something that you can do for $1,000. You know, you need to have a basic understanding of what's happening in your business. So depending on where people are and what their budget is and what their site looks like, you know, I can just walk you through some basic stuff about SEO and give you some quick wins, or I can, you know, put some reports together so that way you can understand things more about your business, or I can do it for you.
Right. Right.
And explain to you what I'm doing. But I like to always make sure that people have at least a CEO level understanding. So you don't need to get into the nitty gritty, but you need to be the CEO of your business, understand what's happening on your website, and be able to have some strategies around it. Even if you're not the one implementing it, it's important to know how it all fits together.
Thank you for that, because that is one of the things I'm just looking at the time. It's 5:15. You have to go pick up your child.
I do. We're going to go to a pajama party dance off.
Oh, woohoo! I remember those days.
Yeah, me and my 3-year-old and my 6-month-old are going to go put on our pajamas and sing nursery rhymes.
I have to
wild Friday night. # wild Friday night.
Wild. I'm going to see music. My standard Friday night, we go to see music at a local bar. It's a little different. I'm empty nest now, 24, 22, and 18.
That's where I was 5 years ago, and maybe that's where I'll be 20 years from now. But right now, I'm in the like old MacDonald had a farm sing-along days.
Is Bonnie still on? Oh, I hated Bonnie. Do you know Bonnie?
No.
Oh, good. Bonnie's not on anymore. Come on, guys. Give me some love for those who remember Bonnie, the big purple dinosaur.
Oh, Barney.
Barney. Did I not say my Long Island accent?
You Long Islanders. I was like, who's Bonnie?
Not
no,
Bonnie.
We don't watch Barney anymore. I think he kind of went out of favor, thank goodness.
Oh my God, he was awful. So thank you so much for everything you taught everyone today.
Guys, you can go to my business page, which is Megabolt Digital. You can shoot me a message, hello@megaboltdigital.com. I'm also in Nancy's Actionable Entrepreneurs group. So if you forgot what I just said,
you can rewatch it everywhere.
Tag me if you have questions, but you can also head over to Actionable Entrepreneurs and just tag me in a question if you have it. I'm happy to, after I get home from my dance party sing-along.
Yeah, when you get home from your wild Friday night, make sure you put your website and your Facebook business page in the comments, unless you have done it already and are
I don't
able
think
to
so,
do it
but I
before
will. I will be back online in a couple hours after the boys are asleep.
So
you guys shoot me questions, and I will see Nancy's people in their group on Monday, and I will see the rest of you later, hopefully.
And I hope you have a glass of wine after your dance party.
Oh yeah, that's happening.
Thank you so much, Meg, and I will see you Monday along with some of my clients who are there attending live, and others will watch by recording on replay, where you give us even a deeper dive into SEO.
And it won't just be me talking. I'll have visuals, because it's hard when you're just hearing things.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it, Nancy.
You're welcome.
I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you soon. I'll knock you out of here.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Oh my God, that was such great information. Did you learn anything from Meg? Because I certainly did. And like I said, she did a report for me. I hired her to do a report for me for my website and for my blogs. I'm glad, Heather, because she is just a whirlwind of information. And once I check out all of my reports, I will also let you know how much I learned. Excuse me. And Monday, just for my one-on-one and my group clients, she's doing a special training. So I know I sent an email out today that talked all about pricing for interior designers and how difficult it is for them and all the questions they may ask. And my inbox blew up with a bunch of people that I need to talk to that are interested in finding out more and getting into the second sales and leadership group. And I'm hoping if anyone's watching this, try to talk to me this weekend, because it might be closed out by Monday, because I need to talk to a lot of people. And then you can also be included in Meg's training. So I have a couple of minutes left here. Does anyone want to keep me company and come on live and talk about what's going on in their business and their world? Let's see who are the options. Okay, so we have Elizabeth. Joy, you want to come on? I'm looking to see who's watching from their phones, because if you're watching from your computer, I can't actually bring you on. So when it's interesting, because when I started to do my content calendar, I just wanted to explain to you guys a little bit about what I did. Elizabeth, you want to come on? You gave me hearts. I thought that was maybe a yes. Type yes, and I'll bring you on. I sat down with one of my assistants, and we literally said, okay, what's the theme for May? Oh, okay, Debbie, we'll get you again. My phone is only at 15%, so I'm watching. I'm driving. Well, I'm glad everyone's watching with all that they have going on. That's still a good thing. So I sat down with we sat down and we said, okay, if we come out with a new blog every Monday, how many Mondays are in May, June, July, August, September? And then let's pick a theme for the month. And each Monday we come out with a blog. And then on Tuesdays, it gets shared on social media. On Wednesdays, it goes out to my email list. And we created a whole content calendar, which is so hard to set time aside to actually do that. But when I tell you, I did it. And how much weight is off your shoulders, as opposed to trying to wing your content each week randomly, like, what should I talk about this week? What should I talk about next week? And what ultimately I would love to do, and this is getting a little organized for me even, and I'm pretty organized, is tie my Facebook Lives into the theme of the month on my business page, tie my weekend wind down expert into what my theme of the month is. So each week have a specific expert that tied into the blog I wrote, the Facebook Lives I've been doing, and looking to see what I'm teaching everybody. But the first step is doing that planning stage, which is so hard for everybody, as opposed to winging it. Actually plan out. And I loved having Meg on, because Meg really, thanks Darcy, Meg really says what's important, right? Your SEO. And if you're writing a blog or you're writing emails and turning them into blogs, you know, random will only take you so far. So you want to have a successful system in your business. So if I plan out, and it was funny because I only planned on doing 3 months with my assistant. I was like, let's just plan May, June, and July. And then next thing you know, we were like, wait, and then we have to talk about this, and that ties into that. And we ended up planning out all the way through to September at the global level, right? So just so you know, right now, the way my content calendar sits is May will be all about social media, right? How to use Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram, right? Tips for all of that. And that'll be a blog. And then hopefully I will be tying that, like I just said, into my Facebook Lives, into my experts that I bring on. And, you know, sometimes you have to waver from that, depending on how you have your schedule or who comes into your circles. That's a fabulous person to have on. But you want, if you, as much as you can plan out, the calmer you're going to be about what you are doing that day. What are you talking about that week? What are you writing about? Now, as much as I'm a do-it-yourselfer at the beginning, it gets to a point that if I'm not using my time properly as the CEO of my company, as you should all be doing, right? What is your genius zone? And start to outsource the things that you are not good at, or the things that kind of lock you up and make you nervous, and then you can't do anything and you're walking around in circles. I mean, I'm just like you guys. I have the same things. And as much as I get inspired to write once in a while, at the same time, writing consistently is something that could lock me up. So hiring someone to write a 500-word blog, and then the in-between emails would all be me. You know, hiring someone to possibly post on Facebook, but all the socializing is me. So it's really important, once you start getting traction on your clientele you want to stay in your genius zone as much as possible, because what happens is when other people are doing the work that locks you up, the busy work that's not keeping you in your genius zone is not making you the face of your business, not making you the person that's out on Facebook Live, socializing, reaching out to past clients, reaching out to potential new clients. You really could end up just never getting new clients because you don't have the time. So makes me feel like that would take time from my design business, but at this point clients are banging down the door so I could do what you're talking about. And yes, it gets, listen, we all start out, Heather, I agree. We all start out trying to do it all ourselves. And literally what I do is what obviously I think everyone should do this. The minute you get one more big client, you're like, okay, that thing that I've been doing that locks me up, I'm going to outsource that. And that's going to give me more time to do my design work and to do my marketing, the parts of my marketing that is key for me to be doing myself. Making the connections, calling for collaborations, calling past clients, writing a really personal email. I mean, that email I sent this morning, I wrote myself, about how pricing locks everybody up and how you need to price yourself right to be profitable. That was straight from frustration that I see so many of my clients not pricing themselves properly, not having the confidence to price themselves properly, having the fear of being compared to other people. And the bottom line is it all starts with you, what you need to be profitable. And it doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. And I know that's so hard, right? I'm priced differently than other coaches. I don't care. I know the value I bring, and I want you to feel the same way about whatever your service is. So it's, I could stand on the rooftop and scream this, because as soon as you know what your true value is to other people, you can then be confident and get the right clients attracted to you. Okay, so yeah, you know what? Trust me, I have outsourced things that have been disastrous. Kate is sending one email a month, so I could do a second with sending a blog post. Absolutely. It could be time to say, you know what, I'm going to go from 1 to 2. And I have hired VAs that have been disastrous. I have hired VAs that are not responsive. And, oh, hi, Jane, we talked about you before. You got to go back and listen. We talked about designer life. Jane's going to be my guest in May, I think it is, Jane. But anyway, as you start growing, you start outsourcing. And as you outsource, you can grow more because, you can actually do what you're supposed to be doing and stay in your genius zone. And if you don't want someone in your home, there are plenty of virtual assistants who do a ton of different things. And you can find them. Does that mean you're always going to find the perfect person? No. You know what? I've gone to Upwork. I've gone to Fiverr. I've gotten recommendations from people. I try to keep an arsenal of people to recommend to my clients. And sometimes I recommend somebody that doesn't really work out. And I go, okay, let me now search for another person that is great, reliable, consistent, and priced well. And then I can start recommending them. But I try to try them out myself first. So if you're struggling with any piece of your business and you need a recommendation, let me know. If I have someone, I'll tell you. If I don't, I will not tell you. I will tell you where to go to look for one yourself. And if you find somebody great, you let me know. Recently, one of my clients I sent her to, I think it was Fiverr. And I just said, choose the 5-star people, choose the people who have a lot of reviews, that they've been around for a while. And was Meg found from there? I'm wondering if I actually found Meg from there, from my other client. But she recommended a couple of people, and I'm going to try them out myself. So yes, it takes a little time to find the right people. But once you do, you can stay in your genius zone. You can plan. You can be the face of your business. You can run it, delegate, empower your people to do the job well by making sure they have all the tools and information they need. And that's kind of key. So I've been managing people since I was in my 20s. It's one of the things I do well. I love to do it. And if you can empower your people to have all the tools they need to do a great job, and if they are motivated to grow your business with you, not just do what they paid for, but actually have that gut instinct, like, I want to see this person do really well because I want to ride this wave with them, that's the best kind of employee. It really is, or the best type of outsourcer to have, like someone who really likes you and wants to see you succeed also. So on that note, got a little tickle. Wait, I have to have a glass of my wine. A sip of my wine. So that's my little speech for today. It is 5:30, the end of week and wind down. Thank you so much for all of you who watch, all my clients, all my supporters. Share away if this was valuable. I'd love to give Meg and myself some more FaceTime and followers. Have a great, great weekend. Thanks for all the hearts and the likes. And I will see you next week on Weekend Wind Down. I'm Nancy Ganzikofer, a business coach to creative entrepreneurs. If you need me, you know where to find me. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks, Jane.